something on your mind anytime. I'm here to listen, Sister Talk. When you need someone who understands, I know what you're missing, Sister Talk. No matter what you're going through, don't worry, I ain't going nowhere. Sister Talk. If you ever feel alone, say the word, I'll be right there. Sister Talk. Sister, 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 sister talk, sister, 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 sister talk, sister, 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 sister talk, sister. Ooh, sister talk.
Coming to you live from New York City is Sister Talk TV show, and I am your host, Deetra Kelsey. Today's topic is the aftermath of the Hurricane Sandy, and also we will be talking about the upcoming election, President Obama versus Mitt Romney. But today we have here two powerful sisters, one a Democrat and one a Republican. Let's start off with Denise Bold, a returning guest for Sister Talk TV show. She's a delegate for the National Democratic Convention, a blog talk radio host, and author of Raising Princes to Be Kings, Single Black Mother's Guide to Raising Their Sons. And she's also a reproductive health educator. New to the set is Kathy Hernandez. She's a native Republican New Yorker, comes equipped with a sharp tongue, quick wit, and opinion she's not afraid to express. When she's not putting people in their place with her common sense approach to life, she's spreading love through her book, How I Bagged My Husband. Okay, ladies, sisters, let's get to it. Denise, why should President Obama be re-elected for the next term?
It's very simple. We gave him a job to do 4 years ago, and he has to finish that job. And right now, what he was able to do was to systematically set up a foundation. Now we need to build a house on that foundation. Now we need to fill in that picture that the frame is there for now. So he still has some more work to do, and we have to give him a chance to do that.
Okay. Kathy, why does President Obama,
why does he deserve?
Why does he deserve to be president for the next term?
Well, I think it's more about the results, and I get the foundation perspective, but we need results now. We need a vision for the future, and I really don't think the foundation that is being set up is something that we should look forward to. We have a worse economy. We have no jobs. We have no really prospects for how people are going to create jobs, and we're in wars all over the world.
Okay,
so.
You know, Kathy, is that really a fair statement? Come on, because you have to agree he was really thrown into this mess, right? He was really thrown into this mess.
He campaigned to take care of the problem. Nobody forced him and dragged him into the White House.
Well, that was near the term of, that was near his campaign. Wouldn't you agree?
That was you know, 8 years of Bushism by one of the most irresponsible presidents the Americans have ever had in this country. And he has basically put us into wars we didn't need to be into. He set up programs on credit. He really kind of put us at a deficit while him and his Vice President Cheney basically got fat rich off of a lot of stock and a lot of company shareholdings that they had a part of, which to me is not fair, but they were. So they're sitting at home now. They don't have a worry in the world, but Americans are back here worrying, and Americans are now paying for all of the deficiencies from the GOP presidency of the past 8 years.
Okay, I want to hear from the viewers. Please call in at 212-757-1483. Please call in. Do you agree with Denise Bowles, or do you agree with Kathy Hernandez? Kathy, go ahead.
Can I just? I don't think it's a fair statement to say that everything that Obama is dealing with now is Bush's fault.
Okay.
Fine. The economy was bad when he was coming in, the housing bubble, whatever happened. Okay. You can't blame Bush for 9/11. It was a response to an attack on the United States. So now that but wait a minute. Now that it was 8 years after that, you came in because Obama came into office saying that he was going to change things.
And he did.
Okay.
And
How?
He has.
He continued the Bush policies.
He's given us green.
What happened to Guantanamo Bay? What happened
He could not fix that yet. He's fixing that for the next round.
Why couldn't he fix it?
He's fixing it for the next round.
Why couldn't he fix it?
He's fixing it for the next round.
Close Guantanamo Bay. You didn't do that. That's one promise that did not come true.
Okay.
So you can't say that it's all Bush's policy. Yeah,
yes, I can.
It was
yes, I
Bush's
can.
policy,
And the Americans
right
have seen it.
Policy
the Americans
to keep Americans
have
seen it.
safe. 9/11 was the result of the Bush administration putting a huge fear campaign out here for Americans against Muslims, against anyone who didn't look like them.
That's not true. That's not true.
And they put us in a war that killed hundreds of thousands of young Americans that we did not need to be in. Thank you, Bush.
That is not true.
That is not true.
Why do you say that, Kathy?
Why it's not true? Well, you have a dictator who was killing his own people. You put
There's a certain factor that we need to stay out of. We need to stay out of a certain tactic. We need to stay out of a certain
and that's what Obama is doing right now in Iran when they're killing them. They're killing each other. They're killing the uprising, the democracy that's trying to grow, the young people who are in Iran, and Obama he's staying back. He's out of that one.
There's a certain amount of responsibility and accountability
Are you
that they have to
defending
do.
democracy? Are you defending the rights and the freedoms of people everywhere?
We were defending investments that we made there. We had given this country a lot of money.
We give every country a lot of money.
We give
every country a lot of money and a lot of aid.
To make sure that we were getting the most.
Okay, hold that thought. We have a phone call. We have a phone call. Caller, you're watching Sister Talk TV show, and you are live. Please say hello to my guest, Denise Bowles, and the newcomer here, Kathy Hernandez. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hi. Who's this?
How are you?
I'm okay. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Kenyana, and I'm calling from Manhattan.
Okay. What's your question or your thoughts, Kenyana?
My thoughts comment is, even as Ms. Hernandez, even with the points that she's attempting to make, which many of them really are not necessarily, the accuracy is really not there. But in any event,
such as what?
The point I'm making is, President Obama is absolutely the best choice. Even if you could argue all of those things that you're saying, Ms. Hernandez, President Obama is still the best choice. And there's no argument.
Give me one example of a decision he's made that has bettered the lives for anybody besides himself.
I can give you some.
One example.
Okay.
One
we need her to. Can you turn up the volume, control room? What was that last statement that you made?
Kenyana, what did you just say?
That even if you could argue that,
which you can,
some of Ms. Hernandez's points, President Obama is still the better choice, absolutely, when it comes to himself and Mr. Romney.
Okay,
that's not arguable.
Okay, thank you, Kenyana. Okay, we're going to let them handle that. Thank you very much. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Why is he better? What has he done? What are the results that he has done? You can't say, oh, Bush did it for 8 years. Now I have to clean it up. You know what? When you get hired to do a job, which is what he's gotten hired to do, you can't say, well, my predecessor really did horrible work, and now I'm so flustered I can't figure it out.
That's not
that is
what
your job.
Obama has said.
Oh, really? Every other word out of Obama's mouth is,
this
well,
man has
Bush
never
did it.
said that
That's
he's
what
flustered.
I inherited.
This man has been at the helm for 4 years. He's been cool, dealing with racism, dealing with unprofessionalism.
He's the one who has brought out racism. He's supposed to be
out of your
He is supposed to be the candidate to unite everyone, and all he has done has created more division amongst everyone.
First and foremost,
we all hate Muslims. We all want.
I just want to say, first and foremost,
give me a break.
We can definitely sit here and have a professional disagreement. However, I will not disrespect, nor will I bash the President of the United States.
But it's okay to tell me to pull my head out of my behind.
Yes, because if you can't see the dominating resurgence of racism in this country because of this man being here, then you really aren't real.
Because he put it in your face.
How has he put it in your face?
Because every argument is, oh, they don't like me because of my middle name.
That's
they don't like me.
That was a smear campaign that was used during his election.
He's the one who perpetuated that campaign.
put that
Let's see
out.
what the
Put
caller
that
has
out
to
there.
say. Okay, for anybody who's a Republican out there, in all fairness for Kathy Hernandez, my viewers are more left-wing, you could say.
Obviously.
They are. Okay. Democrats and all that. But, you know, we've asked Black Republicans, the Frederick Douglass Foundation, to come out the closet, come on the show. They gave us the runaround. I commend you for coming on the show and expressing your views.
You know why? Because this is what happens. You get called, I'm a racist. Okay.
No one has said racist. Before he said it, you just said about racism. Before his call came on, you're the first one who brought up racism.
The callers who really agree with Kathy Hernandez, come in and call in and support her. Okay, we're going to take another phone call. Okay, go ahead.
I can answer the question, though.
Sure.
I can answer the question from what Kenyatta said as far as what one thing has he done.
That's what
He's done a huge thing for women, okay? There is no co-pays any longer for your Papa mammographies. Lilly Ledbetter Act for equal pay for equal work.
Okay,
how would you like to make the lesser amount of a salary for the same amount of work?
Within the Obama administration,
that he has done. Those things he's done.
The women within the Obama administration themselves have said they make less money than the men do. So what has he really done?
Who said that? Who in the Obama administration would come out and say, "Oh, I'm still making less money than so and so"?
Your argument is that
Who's saying that?
Your argument is that women are making less money.
No, that's not my argument. My point is that I've named 3 factors that really impact women in this country that Obama has done that Bush did not.
Okay.
Such as?
I just said them.
Okay, caller. What's your name and where you calling from? Caller?
Oh, Roberta, calling from Harlem.
Hi, what's your name again? Sorry?
Excuse me?
What's your name again?
Roberta.
Roberta, what's your comment or question, Roberta?
Yes, your name is Miss Hernandez. The lady's name is Miss Hernandez?
Yes, please, respectfully.
Yes, she's saying to name one thing that Obama has done. I just want to let her know that I just thank Obama for having my son put back on my insurance after coming out of college.
That's right.
Okay, so that's fine, and that's a great benefit to have, but I don't think that a 26-year-old is a child.
I'm sorry, what was that?
When you graduate, if you become an adult at 18, you're legal to drink at 21, but you're on your parents' insurance till you're 26. How does that benefit you in becoming an adult?
Because
let's let the caller talk, please. Okay, let the caller.
Did you get a job right away?
Yes.
Okay,
and
let the caller talk, please. Caller,
it was right
your
after
response to
9/11.
her question? Caller, with yours.
Okay, and also it benefits me a lot because, for instance, my son came out of college and he was going out looking for jobs and everything, and he could not get work. During that time that he was looking for work, he needed medical assistance. Okay. I don't make that much money to pay the hospital bills like that and pay the bills that I have. So I feel that was a big help that Obama did, and not only that he helped with the insurance. There's a lot of things that Obama is doing right now that is helping us. Right now, he came over here to New York to help these people with this storm situation. We all was affected by
Obama
this
have
storm.
possibly done in the
storm? All right, thank you so much. We have other callers.
Can you describe how Mitt Romney is going to make sure that those jobs are here for America? Can you tell me how Mitt Romney is going to save the budget?
Okay.
Do you know? Because America is still waiting to find out how he's going to do it, and he has not been able to tell us.
Okay. So I think that the plan he has, which he has described, maybe not on MSNBC or whatever other channels, is to create an environment, pull back regulations so that companies actually can create and can grow.
Well, Kathy,
you can't get a loan right now.
Kathy,
you can't get a loan right now
people have to be creative during this time, and I do understand
but
that.
But look, as a small business,
my group, my community, we're at the lowest of
which is why you should be more angry at Obama. You should be more angry at the policies he's creating because the black community and the Latino community are the hardest hit in this economy.
These type of companies are restructuring their company, but they're also at the same time outsourcing those jobs. Caller, we're going to take the next caller, and then I'm going to ask Kathy a question, and also you a question too. Caller, you watch the Sister Talk TV show. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Marsha, and I'm calling from East Harlem, and I am a Republican. However, I voted for Obama because I liked what he had to say,
Yes.
because he addressed the working class people, the middle class people, and not just the people at the top. Trickle-down economics will only work for a certain select group of the country. It does not work for the masses. And when the masses are forgotten in any of the political schemes in this country, the whole country suffers.
That's
and
right.
that's where we are today.
That's right.
We need to get back to the American people and address all the issues that made us great, that made us
That's
the
right.
reason why people come here. People don't come here for capitalism. People come here because the opportunities are supposed to be for everybody. And Ms. Hernandez, you need to step back and look at the truth of the situation of the last 50 years that we are suffering from right now.
Okay, Marsha.
Thank you,
Thank you
Marsha.
for calling, and get your Republican friends to come on the show and
Thank
tell
you,
them
Marsha.
to stop. To come out the closet, okay? Come out on Sister Talk TV show. Thank you, Marsha. Of Latinos are Republican.
No,
what hap-
Democrat,
no,
remember.
Okay, I mean, Democrat, yeah, are a Democrat. How did you transfer, or were you always a Republican, or did you just switch sides?
I think I've always had conservative values, and I grew up in a very, very Democrat family, but I also grew up in public housing. So I'm not speaking because I'm the one percenters. No, I find that I understand why people need these programs. I understand what it is to be on unemployment. I've been there. I've been laid off. I've been subject to companies who needed to downsize, and my job wasn't that important or wasn't necessary. But I don't hate the people who are at the top. I try to, I have a lot of ambition and motivation so that I could get to the top. And sometimes you do have to make hard decisions as an employer. And people see that as heartless, but it is what it is. So I grew up in a family who was low income, middle income. Oh, you know, I'm not foreign to going to food pantries or having, well, it was food stamps, the actual dollars, not the EBT cards. But, you know, and I went to public school, and I have that experience. But I see capitalism, I see entrepreneurism, I see thinking for myself and wanting to rely on myself instead of the government for what lifestyle I'm gonna have. I don't want a bureaucrat to tell me I can't drink a 16-ounce soda. I think I can make that decision all by myself. I don't need anybody to tell me. And Michelle Obama, while her husband is smoking and eating fatty food, is telling all our kids in schools that they can't have a certain meal that their parents prepare for them. I can make that decision as a parent and as a logical-speaking person.
Okay, let me ask you this. How did you become a delegate for the Democratic National Convention?
I had responded to an ad a long time ago, and I filled out my name and number, and lo and behold, in January, I got the call saying that I was selected. I was very surprised about that because normally they usually have people as delegates who are very active in the campaigns, and this past year, I didn't have a chance to be as active as I was 4 years ago, so I was very, very surprised about that.
Okay, okay. So when you filled out the application, what was the, what do you think was the, what you put down that said, okay, we want this woman to be?
I think they wanted it to be from the 99. I think they wanted it to be from the average Joe. I think they wanted the representation of the community.
You've had hardship also, right?
I've had a lot of hardship. Back in 2009, my house foreclosed. I lost my home. I lost my job. And I was faced with having a son starting college for the first time in his life. So I had to get my son through college. And 4 years later, I'm better off now than I was 4 years ago. My son has finished college. He's in grad school. I am working. I have a new place to live. And I'm really appreciative of the healthcare reforms and the other policies and reforms that really have come into play.
Although you lost your job when President Obama was in office,
when he first started in office, yes. 2 years, I was unemployed for 2 years.
You didn't blame him. You still stuck with the Democratic Party.
I did not blame him because I knew that I had to get out there and show the world that I can basically come back. I can basically take the resources that are being offered and I could make them work. So that's what I had to do.
Caller, where you calling from and what do you have to say?
Hello?
Hello.
Yes. I'm calling from Harlem.
Okay.
And I just want first of all, your show is fantastic.
Thank you so much.
By a fluke. And I'm seeing what's going on conversation-wise as far as the political atmosphere and arena. I look at it this way. I am 4 years. I am better off than I was 4 years ago.
Amen.
Obama encouraged me to go back to school.
That's right.
I am 64 years old. I went back to college.
All right.
I went to BCC, got my associate's degree. Now I'm at City College.
Good.
Getting my BA.
Good.
And he said, get your degrees, get some skills, get some vocational training, because we are headed for very bad times. And you need to be trained. We need to understand that what the Bush administration did for 8 years put us in a disastrous hole. And we're trying to, and he's trying his best to recuperate what was lost for so many years under the Republican administration.
All right. Thank you so much.
It's not going to happen overnight.
No, it's
Nothing
not.
Is
or in 4 years.
No, it's
in,
not.
in all
No,
fairness,
no.
it's not going to happen overnight.
All right. Thank you, caller. We have to take another call. Thank you so much, okay? Thank you for calling. First of all, you know, we're coming to the end of the show. I want to say we didn't get to Hurricane Sandy, but I do want to say that we at Sister Talk, we do, our heart goes out to the victims and the people who have lost their houses. If anybody who has the resources or the time, please give your time in your in money to the victims of this disastrous, horrific hurricane that just swept through our city. I'm going to give you all the last word, and we have to wrap it up with you, Denise.
Okay, why do I think it's necessary to re-elect President Obama? He needs 4 more years to finish the work that he has to do. Right now, he's the best candidate that this country can offer in order to lead us to prosperity. We have to give him another chance. We have to give him an extended chance to finish the work he started. We have to give Americans hope in order to see a vision of fairness and equality across the board.
Okay, how about yourself?
Obama doesn't have the experience to handle the situation. Romney
Can
is
Romney
a proven,
teach
wait a minute, you got to talk.
Yeah, let her talk, babe.
Romney is a proven businessman. Restructuring is what everybody hates him for, apparently, but is what he does. So we need to hand it over to someone who has the experience, who has the management skills, who can take the country into the next generation, because our kids need to have jobs.
Okay, thank you so much. This is Deetra Kelsey. We're signing off. I want to thank the callers for calling in, the viewers for tuning in. And again, if you have the time and the resources to give to the victims of Hurricane Sandy, please do so. Remember, we are all connected. Again, this is Deetra Kelsey, and we're wishing you peace, love, and light. And hope you all stay tuned in for the after show. Just 10 minutes. I won't interrupt. You can say what you want to say. We can do this. Thank you so much. Bye. Why do you think that was like that? Why do you think that the Women Caucus, was it Women Black Caucus, did not get the support at the convention?
There needs to be a revitalization of our history. We've been so diluted with so many different interpretations and so many misconceptions. We need to understand that the civil rights movement and any political movement in this country that was done for African Americans was done on the backs of the black woman who was out there doing the fundraising, getting information, and supporting in the background continuously. And we've never got our due. We never got that proper recognition. So while you've seen Malcolm X, you've seen Martin Luther, you've seen all of the other political entities that happen in Black America that has moved us forward, it has been the black woman behind those stories. I just watched a documentary on Emmett Till, and Emmett Till was brutally murdered and brutalized in this country, but it was his mother who carried that torch of awareness to get Americans to understand how brutal and how unjustified his murder was. So the black woman still has not got her due.
So what else did you see? Did you know, we've seen pictures of President Obama, Joe Biden. Did you ever get a chance to shake their hands or talk to them?
No, the security was really heightened because we had increased protesters. So security went up to like almost a level 4. So you really could not get closer to do anything else. As a delegate, I was very fortunate to be able to do the things I had to do, but I really wasn't there to do a meet and greet and shake a lot of hands. I was there to attend caucuses and to get information and to find out basically what is the African American plan for the next 4 years politically.
So did you see that?
No, I did not.
What did you see?
I saw a lot of posturing. I saw a lot of people playing dress up, and I saw a lot of people really missing their mark on the mission. What I did see in the Latino community was I saw unity, I saw goals, I saw people making progress, and I saw on the Democratic National Convention that was televised, it was a Latino event. There was very little African American participation or solicitation for us. And basically at the convention, I saw the black people, the Americans, the African Americans getting pushed further back into obscurity. That's what I witnessed.
Do you think that's our fault or others' fault?
It's our fault. As we said earlier on the live show, which I agree with 100% because I am a single mom, we cannot be codependent on services to a point that it debilitates us. Everyone is going to need help at some point in time in their lives. However, you do not become such an entity where that is going to be your existence. That defines you. I disagree on that. I don't think we need to give Barack Obama a black pass because he's black. I'm not voting for him because he's African American. I'm not voting for him because he's black like me. He's not like me. When Michelle got up there that night and said, Barack is just like you, he's not like me. We will never be in the same circles.
Michelle Obama is more like us than anybody.
She might be, but because of their economic circles, because of who they are and what they represent in this country, it'll be a rare moment indeed for me to ever meet them or be in the same circle.
Well, I have to say I can identify more with Michelle. Miss Michelle, First Lady, well, here we like to call her First Sister. Michelle Obama more than Barack Obama because I feel that she comes from where I come from. Two-parent home, loving family.
Right.
Two hard-working people.
Right.
And so forth. GOP view. Did you go to any conventions or parties or lobby, anything like that?
Not here in New York.
So you're the lonely Republican in your circle.
The thing is, I know a lot of conservatives who are not as vocal as I am, but I think there aren't that many differences when you get to the end result for conservatives and Democrats. It's all about the process and getting there. And just like she said, she never would be in that circle with Obama. I just don't, that is exactly the comment that I don't like, because it makes me feel like whatever I try to do, the mentality is, well, but you'll never achieve that. And that's what I get from a lot of Democrats. Well, I don't know why you're running around trying to do so many different things. You're never going to get there. I don't have that mindset. I've never had that mindset. And that's why I am more conservative, and I've always been lean more conservative than a lot of my friends and my peer group.
But see, I'm not what somebody called this morning on Facebook an Obama lover. I'm not completely fanatical about Obama. It's a historical move for me, but I'm very harsh on him. If you've listened to my Blog Talk radio show that I invited you to listen to, Deidre, I'm very hard on him in these 4 years because I feel he still has a work to do. And I still feel that for the black people, for the African American people, many of our needs have not been addressed because there is this precarious balance that Obama's trying to stay on so that he doesn't appear too pro-black or too blackness.
Well, that's what Travis Smiley and Cornel West, that's their problem. I think I don't know what's going on with that campaign, the Poor People's Campaign.
I think it's been disbanded because they didn't have enough funding to keep it going. Here's my rationale on that. Okay, I'm a social worker by trade. You can have a president identify certain needs that are basically affecting a predominant race of people, such as, let's talk about maternal health. African American women have the highest numbers of stillborns, prematurity, and every negative factor of maternal health that you can think of, diabetes, overweight, all of it, okay? So why not institute a maternal program that's going to help with this statistic and actually uplift these families and give children a better start, which would actually have a better outcome educationally.
Is that not part of Obamacare?
But let me ask you
to a point, but it's not focalized. It's still very generalized.
Let me ask you something. Does Mitt Romney has a plan for what Denise Bowles just stated about?
Well, I think that she's focusing a lot on African American issues, as she should, because that's what obviously affects her directly. But on a bigger issue, and staying with the maternal health and women's health, because that seems to be a huge issue with, you know, being able to have access to birth control and abortion rights and you know, pro-choice versus pro-life. I feel like if he were really concerned, which is what bothers me, because as a black person or as a minority, you would think that he relates more to us, but he doesn't. And I think you both acknowledge that he really doesn't.
How did I acknowledge that?
Because you said Michelle Obama, you relate more to her than you do
well,
with him just from the family.
I relate to the fact that he is really trying to pretty much you know, recognize the people that really are forgotten.
Okay,
that I recognize
that's the sentiment. And I agree with that 100%. That's the sentiment. And to be honest, when he was running, I was like, wow, this is, you know, wow.
Well, also I recognize the fact that he is of mixed race, but he does look like a black person. I recognize the fact that he does experience racism. I did read his book. You know, he tells us the stories of going into the elevator and there's a white person in there and they clutch their bag or their pocketbook and all that. You know, being a black woman, I can relate to that. I can relate to people have problems with my hair, the way I look, my thick nose, my full lips, you know, and my big butt that Z Starman likes. I can relate to all the physical apparent attributes that he has. Michelle Obama, I can relate to her because she is from the South Side of Chicago. I am a Northwest girl, Washington, D.C., which was at the time 85% black. I know South Side. They know I believe Michelle Obama knows Northwest, the old Northwest. That is.
Yes.
Okay, so that's where I say I can relate to Michelle Obama, because I feel that she comes from the same tribe I come from.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
so from my position, it's like if you want to really help families that you relate to, who relate to you because they feel like you look the same, you kind of understand where they're coming from like no other president has before. Why are you pushing for programs that do cripple people? Why do you push for programs like he wants to have a conversation about women's health? What about maternity care? What about when you have to take time off of work and they don't pay you for it? Why are you so adamant about you need birth control and you have to have an abortion?
But didn't he didn't say you have to have an abortion. He didn't say that.
What about
he didn't say
the women who want to be mothers, who want to have families? What about supporting those women who want to stay home and take care of their kids? There's no talk about that anywhere.
So Mitt Romney is talking about that?
I'm not saying that Mitt Romney, this is not an issue that Mitt Romney actually has to get involved in with the economy and the state that it's in.
Well,
maybe focusing on healthcare wasn't the best idea.
No, but Mitt Romney has women in binders, and you know, yes.
First of all, I would love if anybody who knows
they can
Mitt
have 4 or
Romney,
5 wives.
I would love to be a resume in the binder he's looking in, because those are women who have achieved great things, which is why he's looking at their resume. I would love to be part of that binder. Somebody, I will email you my resume.
It's great to be in that binder, but that's where you stay, is in that binder.
Hey, before we move on to Hurricane Sandy, I wanted to show me a couple of buttons. Do you have the buttons from the convention?
Yes, I do.
Just a couple of them. We're going
propaganda.
Yeah, I know. I just thought it was funny.
Well, you should know the Republicans spew quite a bit of it.
Particularly, just show about 3. Particularly the one that I like.
That's the one that you like.
Oh, here's a good one.
Sluts vote.
Where's the camera?
Sluts vote. You know who you are.
Democrats want you and all your votes.
That's right. So everything from Twitter Twitter had a button at the convention. Educators had a button at the convention. Planned Parenthood had their button at the convention.
Of course.
This was my button as a delegate at the convention. Sluts Vote. This was really an important one because we heard of the whole controversial slut walk here in New York and Manhattan. So I thought that was really very powerful.
It's just a comic moment. Come on.
It is.
You know,
and here's my other favorite one. I love black people because I'm a child of the 60s, so this looked very 60-ish to me. And they had a lot of buttons for sale. They had a lot of propaganda, but this is truly my favorite one, and it's Women for Obama. And notice how small it is. If you want to give that parallelism, here's how small it is compared to our educator button. Here's the women's button. Even the slut button was bigger than the women's button. But, you know, it's just a lot of buttons to collect. They had one for Charlotte, North Carolina, where Charlotte was a wonderful host city. Beautiful place to visit.
I like North Carolina.
Yes, I do too. And I drove down, so I had a really scenic ride and a scenic trip back. So it was really a lot of fun.
Okay, let's move on to Hurricane Sandy. So what's your thoughts about how the city, before we get into the election part of it, how do you think the city handled the aftermath of it? And before, do you think people took heed to the warnings of evacuating and all that?
No, people did not take heed to the warnings, unfortunately, and now they're requiring extra resources to go in and save them. And I think that's an abuse of resources. I think those people who need to be saved now, after you were duly warned that this is a high-risk area and you chose to stay, now you need to pay a fine for being rescued.
Should we be mad at Mayor Bloomberg for canceling the marathon?
He should have canceled it on Monday.
Yeah.
Well, wait. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. Should we be mad at Mayor Bloomberg for waiting so long?
Yes, he waited too long for that, and people had already flown in. People had already used their resources.
That's even besides the point.
If they had the resources to cancel,
but you know what? That's even besides
they could have put those hotel rooms for people who really need them.
That's even besides the point. The major issue here with Bloomberg is that he had more focus on using police resources, using generators that were here for the marathon, using those resources to continue manning the tunnels so that you couldn't get in unless you had 3 people in your car. And if you happen to have gotten across the tunnel, those police officers sent you right back across. He was worried about congestion. He worried about people getting back to business. Meanwhile, they're pulling bodies out of Staten Island. They have no heat in a time when the temperatures are dropping. Houses are flooded.
Long Island is in the same condition. Nyack and Rockland County is in the same condition. It's not just about Staten Island.
I just used them as an example.
Bloomberg is what you get. You get what you vote for. Okay.
Exactly.
And they put this guy back in office again. So you get what you vote for. So don't complain. You put him back in office.
Okay. Let's talk about the aftermath of Hurricane. How do you think that this will affect the election? Do you think this hurricane will affect the election?
I don't know if it's going to affect the election because New York is a state that typically votes Democrat anyways. So I'm sure that they'll have some trucks or whatever resources put towards allowing people to go and vote and cast their vote.
How about yourself, Denise?
No, I think that it will have an impact. I think a lot of people who were once naysayers for Obama, now that they've seen it, he came out and he implemented FEMA right away. He went to the targeted areas as much as he could. I think that does put him in a brighter light. However, I think we do have to be hyper-vigilant on watching the voting places and make sure that there's no form of corruption. We have to make sure, such as miscounting, such as machines that don't work, such as misguidance of signage.
They have two delegates from each
they have
party
to make sure that all of that is done correctly. So,
well, I'm sure that they will.
Considering that Mitt Romney's son owns a voting machine company.
Wow.
So we have to keep in mind of that, and considering that a lot of
the conflict of interest,
and considering that a lot of people have been
given you don't want me to get into Obama's conflict
the wrong signage here. They've been given the wrong locations, the wrong addresses on where to go to vote. Right. So we really have to.
I might have put up a few of those.
Right. We may have
November 6th. Go then.
We have to stay hyper vigilant on that, and we also have to make sure that people understood, which is a little short notice now, about absentee voting as well. So, all of that comes into play.
Hey, I'm going to end it on that. I just want to say that, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, we are all connected. I have to say that these two sisters, the one thing they do care about is America. So no matter if you're a Republican, independent, or Democrat, there are a lot of people who sacrifice for the right for you to vote. Once upon a time, women couldn't vote. Once upon a time, blacks couldn't vote, and so forth. Get out and vote, okay? All right, this is Deetra Kelsey from Sister Talk TV show. After the show, and we're wishing you peace, love, and light. Thank you.